What's up, Internet? My name is Attack Slug, and welcome back to my Let's Play of the 2K16 MyCareer mode, Ebenezer's Revenge, fighting Mark Henry once again as we're heading towards Battleground in July of 2017. And our authority goal was to go interfere with Sami Zayn. We're not going to do that. We're not going to interfere with Sami Zayn. He is not our main target right now. Clearly, we are going after the schizophrenic Bray Wyatt, who we had 5 red bars, and then he had 2 blue bars. And I'm like, what are you doing, Bray Wyatt? I totally attacked you and gave you your own finisher on the entrance, and you decided that that was apparently not good enough to have an issue with old Uncle Ebenezer. I don't get that. Anyway, it is Wednesday, so if you're wondering what I thought of Raw this week, my Raw reactions are already up. Go check them out. So I'm not going to go into too much about that stuff, although obviously being Wednesday, there's always that kind of nebulous period of, hey, SmackDown spoilers are out. Now, I don't usually watch SmackDown because it's SmackDown, but because it is a pre-taping, occasionally things come out of SmackDown that are, you know, significant or, you know, interesting in some way, shape, or form. And this week, one of those things is that Ryback, Mortal Kombat, Ryback has changed his attire from wearing a singlet to wearing essentially the old Steve Austin, Goldberg, you know, Randy Orton, black trunks, black knee pads, black boots. Now, Ryback, for people like, you know, Grim who collect toys, is awesome. Because he wears very colorful attires. He has, you know, has all different ones. You know, he pretty much was... He was following the Rob Van Dam type of stuff. And that was fine. You know, like, you want people who are larger than life and just wearing normal-ass black trunks. If you don't have the overwhelming personality to back it up, is not necessarily going to help you. So, Ryback changing to black trunks, I feel like, in a certain way, is the audience seems to have kind of cooled on any kind of a support for Ryback. Like, his entrance, like, a lot of guys, their entrance will get the pop. Like, not themselves, like, once they get to the ring, kind of the audience is kind of sitting on their hands, but the entrance gets a pop. And I think his entrance does that still, but I think that certainly he's looking to, you know, get more attention, and I feel like in his head he's like, well, the crowd has stopped, they've stopped chanting "Feed Me More," and they've stopped, you know, kind of, certainly they've stopped chanting Ryback, but hey, they used to chant Goldberg, so if I can get the crowd to chant something, that is a crowd reaction, and it is better than goddamn crickets. So I feel like that might be part of his mentality, is that he doesn't want crickets, and like, certainly you want to get some kind of reaction from the crowd, even if they're chanting for a guy that you are not, which is weird in and of itself. Like, he never had, like, I don't know, they never really built him like too much of a Goldberg character, or at least he never really had the intensity that you would expect from that type of archetype. But yes, whether or not that sticks, you know, past apparently SmackDown, but he was definitely there, and I don't even know if he had a match or not. All I know is I've seen the backstage pictures of him hanging out in the black trunks and black boots, which is like, what? No, you had all kinds of cool outfits that were cool. Don't end up with a bunch of basic figures, because that's what you're gonna get, is a bunch of fucking basics that all reuse the same fucking thing, because you're wearing the same damn thing over and over again. That's dumb. Boom. That's it. He's done, even though he's not done, because obviously if I'm hitting the pin button, roll his tubby self over. Like, I wasn't gonna get it, but you know, you want to at least go for it. You're on a big move. You want to at least make the attempt. Yeah, because this is gonna happen. Watch the arms clip into the body here, as this is not gonna, like, I'm a shorter dude, and he's a real big dude, and it's just not gonna work. But we'll do it anyway. Referee, pay attention. Holy shit. Nope. And then we do it again. This crowd's hype. I guess kind of the other thing that I wanted to touch on, because I mean there's not too much going on right now in news, or, you know, or at least not I mean, okay, there's the stuff where everyone's saying that it's going to be Undertaker and Braun Strowman at WrestleMania, and that's like, I kind of don't want to even acknowledge that, because dear God, Vince, what the fuck are you thinking? Apparently Vince thinks it's a great idea, but apparently Vince thought that Braun Strowman, Brock Lesnar was a great idea, and they talked him out of it, according to, you know, the dirt sheets. So, like, that's good. That's good. But are you really going to waste one of the very few remaining matches that Taker's going to have at Mania? You're going to waste one of those in the twilight of his career, boom, on Braun Strowman? Like, seriously. That's messed up. So, I don't know. I'm hoping that is a fake rumor. Honestly, who else do you have Taker fight that is, you know, not hurt? Who else is there right now? Because who else is on that level? You know, I suppose is the real, you know, conundrum there. So, I don't know. Like, obviously not Bray Wyatt, because you already did that one. Damn you, Mark Henry. Punch you in the face. What? So, oh, really? A big flapjack? Okay. What is he doing? No! The other thing I wanted to kind of get into, and I might do it after I finish this, what? Back body drop. After I get through this fucking match with the world's strongest man, Rico Cutter. Complete domination. We are the nation of complete domination. The other thing was, let's finish this match first before I get into my discussion on predictability, I guess. Yeah, there you go. What? No, pin him! What are you doing, Ebenezer? I was holding circle, and now he has to get all the way up. He has to get all the way up to get back down. Get up, to get down. There we go. Even though they're having us fight him over and over again, which is, I understand, not particularly entertaining for anyone, so I apologize for that. It's not my fault. I can't help it. They go, no, you and Mark Henry, that's a good SmackDown feud, right? Oh, hello! Why am I fighting Wade Barrett? He's in the IC rankings. He's not in the world title rankings. Actually, where? I guess Mark Henry is not here anymore. Was he ever here? I don't even know now. I'm confused. But Sheamus made the jump, but Wade Barrett did not. So actually, let's go and look into the, yeah. Wade Barrett's the IC champion. Now, you would think having a victory here over the IC champion would also help my rankings, just in terms of my viability. Win by DQ. That's, what? I can't control that. Yeah, so let's see if our actual, the guy we actually want to start shit with is on this show or not. And, it does not appear that Bray Wyatt is appearing on this show, which sucks. Why am I not in a blood feud with Bray Wyatt, even though obviously he doesn't want any of this, because of our Money in the Bank thing. Anyway, as we fight Bad News Barrett here, get well soon. Let's talk a little bit about predictability, and that people are kind of mad about the Fastlane main event, which is Reigns, Ambrose, and Lesnar in a triple threat match, and that everybody thinks that, you know, obviously the obvious thing to do moving into WrestleMania is going to be Roman Reigns, Triple H. Therefore, you have the Wyatts take out Brock Lesnar, and then you have Roman Reigns pin Dean. Oh, hey, Big Show. Pin Dean Ambrose. That seems to be, you know, the prevailing attitude on that match, and people are mad because, oh, it's so predictable, and the predictability in wrestling is not necessarily a bad thing. Like, it doesn't have to be a bad thing. I think the problem is you're trying to get the crowd super interested in Roman Reigns, and by and large, it's not really going too well. So I think that's the problem that they're having with that stuff, is that, oh, it's very super obvious what they're doing with Roman Reigns, and that's what gets people on the internet annoyed. And like, I had seen some discussion, oh, you just hate him because he's a face, and people who are my age and have been watching wrestling for a long time, oh, you only like the heels, you don't like the faces, and that kind of discussion, which is not really true, because when you have a face that is getting over organically, like, I'm all about it. Like, when they were doing that very brief face run with Cesaro, like, Cesaro was amazing, and I was 100% for that. Like, I don't really know that he works any better as a heel or a face. I think he's just a hell of a wrestler, and that is to his credit. And certainly I thought that the Daniel Bryan run, as a face was fine, because Daniel Bryan put on some amazing matches. Whether or not his mic work was great or not was kind of, he got over on his underdog charisma, etc., etc. So, like, mic work was kind of secondary to all that. So, I don't know. That's just, like, believe me, I'm not that big of a fan of Roman Reigns, only because it is very clear that the powers that be are very much want him to be the guy, and very clearly a large section of the audience does not care for that notion. Not that there's anything wrong with Reigns himself. I think very much it is the booking, and were you to actually do stuff with him that seemed the least bit organic and not 100% manufactured with the crowd, then perhaps they'd care about him. But, like, even in towns where you think, okay, this is a town full of guys who are, just like families and kids and everything else, and they're all gonna, like, even then he'll get some boos. Even on Raw, when Stephanie announced, oh, Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose are gonna fight the New Day, the crowd started chanting about the New Day. They didn't chant for Reigns, they didn't chant for Ambrose, they chanted for the New Day. So what does that tell you in terms of what you're trying to get over, what you want to be your top guy in the company, obviously, because John Cena is out for like 6 months, so it has to be somebody, right? I don't know. It's I'm not necessarily down on things being predictable. I thought when they booked Daniel Bryan to beat Triple H and then win the belt at Mania, like, obviously they seeded enough doubt that the Authority was trying to screw Daniel Bryan, etc., etc. They seeded enough doubt that you thought, oh, well, he's going to fight Triple H and then lose. Like, enough people thought that was the actual case. But the story that they built there, like, I'm not saying it was predictable, but, like, it made a whole lot of sense, It's the kind of thing, okay, obviously, Daniel Bryan wins that match, gets his way into that main event as a triple threat, and then wins the world belt at Mania. That is the story they were telling, and it was a very effective story, regardless of, any hint of it being somewhat predictable. Like, that was fine. Like, there have been plenty of times in history where they did the most obvious thing, and the most obvious thing worked because the crowd wanted it. And I think that's the biggest thing, winds of change. That's the biggest thing, and certainly with Roman Reigns in particular, is that when you go into towns where you're having the Rumble, when you're having SummerSlam, when you're having WrestleMania especially, the crowd is the problem. Not problem, but the crowd is your obstacle in terms of, okay, this is the story that they want to tell, obviously, but they're not going to be able to effectively tell it because the crowd wants no part of that story. And so, regardless of how predictable or not predictable it might be, if the crowd's not into it, they're, with as much as they've said throughout the years that anything could happen, like, it's not bad to be predictable as long as the story is good. As long as the crowd cares. Alright, so we beat Wade Barrett handily there. And Big Show's like, apparently my tag team partner, and we're the Authority. We're best bros. We go out and eat cheeseburgers. It's a good time. But look, Bray Wyatt apparently thought we're awesome, and we have 2 blue bars of Bray Wyatt. I don't understand that at all. But also, I feel like if you're gonna pull the trigger on Reigns and have him be a champion for, like, 6 months, 8 months, just fucking do it. Like, they keep walking it back because obviously people, like, they keep trying to do it at these major shows, and at the major shows, Tornado Tag, holy shit. At the major shows, the audience just shits on it, and then they do stuff like, hey, we're gonna, have, the cash in from Rollins, or hey, we're gonna have Sheamus cash in, or, they do this stuff, and they're just, like, not giving him the actual run that they want to give him the actual run, and they just don't. And that's been, like, if you're gonna do it, just do it. Like, stop hemming and hawing over it, because they just don't want their champion to constantly get booed the whole time, which, like, they can't, like, they're in a tough spot, because you can't turn him heel. Like, if John Cena was still around, then sure, just take the shot on turning him heel. But right now, he's the guy, and you can't turn the guy heel when they want to have him be the biggest face in the company. It's just not how it's done. So, that being said, that was today. Tomorrow, Tornado Tag Match against the Primetime Players. That should be the first time in the history of this particular video series, so that should be interesting. But, yeah, until then, I'm Attack Slug, and I'll see you next time for more videos every day right here on this channel with some bright lights, and I'm out.